the matter with you? Now stop it. You're going to wreck the place. I mean it. Cut it out. Cut it
My
out.
Crystal Palace, I'll wreck it if I want.
Well, you're going to pay to put it back together again, then? I mean, I'm sorry, but I got a certain interest in the profit margin around here, too. Now, what is going on?
I'm mad. I've never been this furious or hurt. Not ever, Bobby. I mean, Frank may have been awful sometimes, and Patty let me down, and Roger did some terrible things, but not all three of them together were as bad as he is.
Who?
Barry! Who do you think?
Well, I don't know. I'm not exactly in tune with your romantic problems this morning. Got a couple of things on my mind about Ryan.
Is there any news?
No, there's no trace of Amy or her.
Well, you made it sound urgent. Is anybody doing anything?
Oh, yeah, a couple of people. We got Jack, we got Frank. I've been up half of the night. Jerosa's got a missing persons detail on it. They just spent 2 hours crawling around the place here. I mean, we are trying in our little feeble way.
Don't be mean to me.
Well, I'm sorry, honey. I just haven't had much sleep lately. I am worried about Ryan.
Well, it's not like Amy's a wicked person. I mean, she's strange and unstable, but she wouldn't really hurt Ryan.
We don't know that.
Okay, all right. Don't jump down my neck. I was trying to be supportive. I mean, I may have a broken heart, but I'm capable of understanding that other people are in pain, too. This really has been the worst morning of my entire life.
All right, hon. Maybe you ought to tell me what's going on with you and Barry.
He made me love him when he knew I didn't want to be in love again. And he made me trust him when he knew I was afraid of getting hurt. I mean, he understood. It was no accident, and all the time he was loving someone else and lying to me.
Oh, dear, you don't know that.
Yes, I do. I saw them together. I saw them 2 minutes ago, and he lied about it. And that's not all. He's done this lots of times.
Done what?
Loved 2 women at once.
How do you know?
If you promise not to tell anybody, I'll tell you. And I'll also tell you how I'm going to pay him back.
Oh, that's as close as I've ever come to cardiac arrest. I really thought she'd seen us. I thought she'd come up without calling and look through that window, and there we were. And then she knocked over the flower pots trying to get away.
But she didn't. Oh, I'm so sorry you were so scared.
Oh, me too. I'm sorry about a lot of things, Lily. Cosmically speaking, I think my whole life just changed direction.
I was on my way to look for you. He's amazing.
Ken's one of the most remarkable men I know.
And I'm sorry to say he's also one of the most critically ill. Jill, do you want this here, or would you rather go over to Ryan's?
Not Ryan's. Tell me.
Well, Jean's instincts last night were correct. We took some back x-rays this morning and a spinal tap. Mr. Jones definitely has a tumor of the lower spine. There's evidence of a metastasis in the spinal column. I wasn't satisfied with the skull pictures, and he's been complaining of a headache since the spinal tap, but we'll get some more this afternoon. I'm just not optimistic about what we're going to find.
Oh, Roger. What can you do?
Well, I have to know the whole story first, of course, but Ken said it himself. How can I justify putting him through surgery when we all know the kidney's inoperable?
You discussed it with him?
The minute I saw the x-rays.
Thanks.
Well, I took what you both said last night very seriously. He's known that he's had a terminal illness for months now, and he's handled that information very well, but the rules have changed. The time frame is different, but the problem is basically the same. As far as I'm concerned, he has every right to be informed every step of the way.
What happens next?
Well, chemotherapy's out because of the kidney. Radiation or cobalt is a possibility, but you have to weigh the side effects against the time that's gained. Now, we discussed it fully, and I couldn't tell him what he wanted to hear, which was the treatment might give him some more time. So, what we're down to now is how to make it as comfortable as possible.
With drugs, in heavy doses.
Right.
What did he say to that?
He wants me to finish up what I have to do, which is mainly x-rays. And when we have all the facts, he can make up his mind how to proceed.
I'm really grateful for this, Raj.
I just wish I could be more helpful.
No. I think right now, it's just good to have somebody who's going to be honest and tell the whole truth. That's the most important thing right now. Will you stay with it?
Of course. If he still wants me on the case. He's become very important to you, hasn't he?
We've been lovers.
Jill, you are one of the few people in this world who can still, surprise me.
He was so alive and so interesting and filled with challenges, Raj. I thought I could manage it. I thought we could be friends. And then when we went to London, I knew I loved him. We made love. And then when I came home, I knew something else. That I couldn't turn it into a love affair behind Frank's back. And Ken accepted that. But that's when I found out that he was dying. And I couldn't just walk away from him. And I felt that it really didn't have anything to do with Frank and me. Only now I know that it does.
I see no reason why Frank has to know anything.
I told him.
You what?
He asked me. I couldn't lie to him.
Why the hell not?
Because it seemed that if I didn't, that would make a big distance between us.
As opposed to?
Him being hurt. And as angry as I've ever seen him. I'm walking out.
Permanently?
Yes.
So the wedding is off.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
But you're not surprised.
Under the circumstances, no. I'm just surprised that you believe that Frank Ryan would react in any other way.
Roger, I don't know what I believe anymore. I've realized in a short period of time that this whole thing with Ken has to do with all the old business about knowing that I was going to make a commitment to Frank. And needing something to keep me from having to define the rest of my life. Only this time it was different because I recognized it. I saw what I was doing, and I said, yes, I am scared. But I want Frank Ryan anyway. That is my life. That is what is right for me. And I thought that Ken didn't have anything to do with it.
So why tell Frank, you little idiot?
It seemed important that he know where I'd been, where I had arrived to in terms of him, us. Maybe not. Maybe it was just a final roadblock. Only it was one too many for Frank.
You know, I can only tell you, based on my questionable experience, that honesty is hardly ever the best policy.
Roger. Thanks for the sympathy.
Well, I think you're entitled to some, babe.
I don't know. I certainly know whatever has happened, I brought it on myself. Only right now, the person I have to be concerned about is Ken. May I go see him?
Of course. I'll be on the floor if you need me. Jill, does Faith know what happened?
She, does know about Ken and me. doesn't know about Frank. But I know that she is in Frank's corner on this one.
I think I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't. Well, maybe you do. You're an amazing creature, Lily.
I like who you are, too.
Problem is, honey, I think I have to change who I am in one particular area anyway. Unfortunately, it's the area that affects you and me.
And Delia.
I don't want to lose her.
I know that.
And she would never, as long as she lives, understand that I could love you and make love to you without loving her any less.
I know that, too.
And what happened just now was too close for comfort.
And so you don't want to see me anymore.
Oh, Lily, please don't look like that. Of course I want to see you. I hate the idea of giving you up, but I don't know. I'm scared in some fundamental way. Maybe it's what's happened to Ken. Maybe it's just that I'm tired of change, tired of loving people and having them go away, of beginning again and losing again. Oh, I know I set it up. I make it happen, but maybe this time I can make it not happen.
You're saying you want to cleave to her only, and her is Delia.
Yes.
Well, I understand. I wish it was me. No, I wish it were I. The subjunctive's so hard, don't you think?
Very difficult.
Everything seems so difficult sometimes. You know what I think is the most fascinating thing in the world?
What?
Why a person connects cosmically with another person. There's just no accounting for it.
You're saying why, Delia?
Yes.
Question I've asked myself many times.
Well, did you give yourself an answer?
On several levels. First and least important in this case is my crass materialism and extravagant standard of living. Delia's Crystal Palace can support me in the flamboyant manner to which I am accustomed.
But you make lots of money.
Yes, I do, and most of it goes straight into alimony.
What do you have to be so generous?
I feel bad about them, Lily. I really like them. I really do, all of them. But it isn't a business decision. Delia's beautiful. She's magic. She's full of surprises. And all that's very important to me because I need to be entertained. But on the most fundamental level, Delia's home to me. She's hurt and she's hungry. And she's going to spend the rest of her life trying to give herself what nobody gave her when she needed it most. And I understand that. We come from the same place. We're going in the same direction, and I want to go with her. I want that more than I've ever wanted anything. I want it enough to make the changes that have to be made to get it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are you all right?
I'm sad. And I'm surprised.
At what?
Cosmically speaking, you and I have turned out to be two very traditional people.
Oh, Lily.
Will you promise me one thing?
Sure.
If a plain entree gets boring after all those side orders, remember onion rings.
He was married to Ruth and in love with Phyllis, and that was a mess. So Bonnie came along and rescued him. Then he married Bonnie, and he fell in love with Elizabeth. So then he married Elizabeth and started having an affair with Aviva. So Elizabeth divorced him, and he broke up with Aviva, had a few casual romances before coming to New York and meeting me. And all the time he was being so wonderful to me, helping me with my Crystal Palace, telling me how magical I was, making me love him and trust him, and planned to marry him. He was having an affair with Lily Darnell.
I'll kill him.
Bonnie! No, that's too easy. But I'll tell you what is going to happen to Mr. Barry Ryan.
Yes, I'm Dr. Bullock. I was called about my wife.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I'm afraid she's had a miscarriage.
How is she?
Well, we have no problems. She seemed to be just fine.
Just, spontaneous abortion, huh?
That's about it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Hi, Kim. Hey.
Oh, Dick. You ever forgive me?
Honey,
there's nothing to forgive.
I was in a restaurant, and I started to feel funny. And then I started to get hurt, so I ran to the ladies' room, and there was an attendant there. She was really nice to me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, honey, there wasn't anything you could do.
I wanted that baby so much.
Now, look, you're safe. That's what's important. I mean, we'll have other babies.
We will, Seneca. I promise you we will. Don't you realize how much I want a family, too?
You are so special.
I want to be for you. This is so awful.
Honey, look, miscarriage has happened, that's all.
I love you. You're so wonderful. You must be hurting, too.
Yeah, but there's plenty of time. We'll have a dozen kids if you want. Let's count the blessings we have, okay?
You're my blessing. Thank you for being so good to me.
You feel better now?
Oh, I do. Keep on making me feel better. I need you.
I'm gonna look after you, and I'm gonna take care of you, and I'm gonna love you till all the sadness is gone. We'll have other babies. And you can have everything you want in this world if it's in my power to give it to you. I promise.
Hi. Your brother is all right.
What did I tell you?
Did he give it to me straight? I only wish now he'd take it back.
I wish he could. So does he.
Even less time than we thought, huh?
Yeah. But I am here for the duration. I promise.
Frank.
I told you that I would explain things to Frank, and I did.
It's okay?
Yeah.
What's yeah?
Yeah is that I'm all right about it. And this is where I belong right now.
But does he understand? Come on, Jillian. I need to know this, too.
I told him everything. What's happened between you and me is such an important part of who I am, and it seemed to me that he had to know that. If he really was going to know me. And I thought that if I told him the truth about us, then he'd believe it was true when I said that I love him and I want to spend my life with him.
But he didn't believe it.
Maybe he will in time. Anyway, I did what I had to do, and this is not your responsibility. I have made my own choices. I love you. I love you, and I'm here, and Barry's here. And you are not alone in this. Okay?
There is so much I ought to say to that.
Don't.
Just thank you. Okay.
What? What?
It's nothing. It's just I was about to mention
What?
how fortunate I am.
That's awful. And wonderful.
That's incredible.
Promise me you won't breathe a word.
Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss that for anything in the world. You sure you want to go through with it?
Well, I was feeling kind of sorry for him about Ken and everything, but then when I went over there and saw Lily, I figured I was right in the first place. He deserves it. As long as I can count on you.
Sure you can. Up.
What's that?
Well, I don't know, some bracelet. I found it down in the receiving room. Bob Reed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 2 o'clock's fine. Great. See you later. Liquor delivery. I thought it was something about Ryan.
Something has to turn up soon, doesn't it?
In Genoa City, you'll always find romance, rapture, and passion, sometimes even between the married couples. From spousal cheatings to corporate meetings, come to the place where the heat is always on. The Young and the Restless, coming up next, only on SoapNet.